with slide, a good guitar to start with is, an acoustic guitar is a great way to start because, you can feel what you're doing a lot more with an acoustic if you're not playing in a live setting. There's no reason to have an electric instrument in your home and to bug your parents or whatever. It's good to have an acoustic in the room, and for slide, the action is already set up where you need it, so it's a good starting place. And from there you can kind of just try different things and find out what feels good to you. But there's so many different ways to do it. You can do it on an acoustic guitar. You can find a lap steel or a pedal steel, which is an instrument used a lot in country music, where it's a few more strings and different tunings. So that's kind of a different beast to get your hands on. But I think if you're starting an acoustic guitar with a glass bottle or a metal bottle, whatever you find is the way to go. I got this one from one of the Allman Brothers roadies. It was one of Dwayne's chorus seeding bottles. He had a case of them from, I guess, 1971. The glass is almost, it's a cleaner sound. Sometimes the metal slides are a little noisier on the neck, but some people like that, especially when they're playing through an electric guitar and amp. You kind of get that real nasty Chicago drunken blues sound with a metal bottle. So there's a lot of ways to do it. You can kind of hear where the human voice comes in with the slide a little bit, especially on the long notes. It's kind of similar in Indian classical music too, with the sarod or the sitar, where you have one note, and when you're fretting a note, you're jumping between notes, so each note is cut off. With a slide, you can hold a note much like the voice and just bend it upwards, and you can do that with a horn sometimes and some other instruments, but especially with a slide. So there's a lot of old field hollers and a lot of early Delta blues were kind of coming from that. And I think the early slide players, it actually started as in the Delta, it started a one-stringed instrument that they would nail to the wall, a broom wire, and they would use either just a piece of glass or a pocket knife or a chicken bone or anything, and they would play on that, and it would be, kind of a response to their own vocal. And so that's kind of where it started as far as the blues is concerned. And it's used in Hawaiian music a lot, and a lot of times it's either a butter knife or a pocket knife, or this is a chorus seeding bottle, an old medicine bottle. And so there's a lot of and it's actually used all the way back in Africa. The Pygmies use different versions of it, a one-string bow that they use, and they use a slide on. So it goes back a long ways. A lot of slide players, they set their action, which is the distance from the string to the neck, a lot higher, so you don't get a lot of the fret noise. So you're not rubbing against the strings. And the way I play it is it's kind of medium. I don't want it too high because I have to play without the slide, and I don't change guitars. So I kind of want to be able to do both. To play chords as well as play the slide. So it's kind of somewhere in the middle. Some slide players just have the action jacked up really high, and the lap steel players, it's about an inch off the neck because they're never fretting it. They play it straight up and down. Intonation is a big thing, because when you're fretting a note, as long as your guitar is in tune, you're going to be pretty close to being in tune. But with the slide, it's kind of the notes are infinite because you can kind of be kind of in and kind of out. So you have to do a lot of listening, and you have to train your ear so you know when you're in tune, because looking at it doesn't really help a bunch. You have to do it with your ear. So ear training is a good thing, being able to hear a note and know it's in tune. And other than that, I think just doing a lot of listening and just playing when it feels right. As far as tips, I don't spend a lot of time running through just scales and things. I spend a lot of time listening and trying to find things that I hear, and I do a lot of my practicing that way rather than just running through just exercises. And with the slide, I think it's one of those things where it's much more, you have to train your inner ear more than more than you know, the physical aspect of it. With any instrument, it's just a matter of what you want to do with it and where you want to take it. There's really no boundaries or limits to anything. Whether you're playing slide or singing or, you know, playing the drums, it's all, you know, trying to get something out. So it's the instrument is really, you know, obviously only the instrument, and you're supposed to be speaking through it. So it's just kind of your take on music. Everyone's kind of dipping from the same well, so it's all just a different approach.